Do any of you know what Dia de los Muertos mean? Do any of you know the traditions and beliefs behind Dia de los Muertos? Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a holiday celebrated by many in Mexico. The holiday focuses on the gathering of family and friends to pray for and remember friends and family members who have died. While death is a topic largely avoided in the USA, the remembrance of their deceased ancestors and loved ones is traditional among diverse cultures around the globe. Often marked by lighting candles or lamps and laying out offerings of food and drink, such celebrities can be traced back as far as the glory days of ancient Egypt, when departed souls were honored during the great festival of Osiris, who was an Egyptian god usually identified as the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and the dead, and his story could be told during another speech and is equally as interesting. According to an article by Carlos Miller from the Arizona Republic, more than 500 years ago, the Spanish conquistadors landed in Mexico and encountered natives practicing a ritual that seemed to mock death. A ritual that the indigenous people had been practicing for at least 3,000 years. The Spanish tried to eradicate this ritual, but it refused to die. To make the ritual more Christian, the Spaniards moved it to coincide with All Saints' Days and All Souls' Days, which happens around November 1st and November 2nd. This ritual is known as Dia de los Muertos. This is not a sad time for people, rather a time of remembering and rejoicing. In most regions of Mexico, November 1st honors children and infants, referred to as Dia de los Inocentes or Dia de los Angelicos.
Niños.
On November 2nd, November 2nd honors adults, Dia de los Muertos or Dia de los Difuntos, most commonly known as Dia de los Muertos. In observance of this ritual, people will go to cemeteries to be with the departed. The intent is to encourage visits by the souls, so the souls will hear the prayers and comments of the living directed towards them. Celebrations can take a humorous tone as celebrants remember funny events and anecdotes about the departed. Families usually clean and decorate the graves with ofrendas, offerings, which include items such as orange Mexican marigolds or flor de muerto. These flowers are thought to attract the souls of the dead. Bottles of tequila, mezcal, pulque, or jars of atole are brought for the adults. Toys are brought for the deceased children. Trinkets of the deceased favorite candy is placed on the grave. Ofrendas are also put in homes, usually with foods like candied pumpkin or pan de muerto, bread of the dead, sugar skulls, beverages such as atole, a traditional mesa-based Mexican hot drink, or chocolate atole, champorado, typically accompanied with tamales. Pillows and blankets are left out so the deceased can rest after their long journey. In some locations, celebrants wear shells on their clothing so that when they dance, the noise will wake up the dead. A common symbol of the holiday is the skull or calavera, which celebrants wear as masks called calacas, and foods such as sugar or chocolate skulls that are inscribed with the deceased's name on the forehead. Jose Guadalupe Posada created La Calavera de la Catrina, which is a figure of a woman with a skull head. People at the gravesites will clean, eat, celebrate sometimes all day long and into the night, celebrating life alongside death. This may seem morbid and somewhat ghoulish to those of us who aren't part of that culture, but for those who believe in life, death, rebirth, continuum, it's all very natural. This is not to say that death is treated lightly, because it's not. It's just they recognize it, mock it, and even defy it. Death is part of life. As such, it's representative of the Mexican culture, of the Mexican spirit and tradition, which says, "Don't take anything lying down, even death."